Hello and welcome to my channel, Share It with Merit. I'm Merit. This is a follow-up video to one I did on living a more authentic life. And while living an authentic life often means uncovering and bringing forth your true self, another piece of that is also removing obstacles, right? And letting go of things. And so I'm talking a little bit about letting go today in this video. And it could be letting go of anything, people, relationships, the stories you have about yourself, habits, timelines, locations. It could be letting go of anything. And that's where the exploration really is. And often it is letting go of a particular mindset that you have that is holding you back. Reminds me of that Eagle song that, we often live our lives in chains and don't realize we have the key. Well, I think that's a great metaphor, and probably what they're referring to is that, one of the very few things we can control in life is actually inside our own heads. Is this can be the biggest prison, or it can be, the most peaceful place that you have is right in your head. And the more peace you can find in there, the more likely you are to achieve whatever it is that you want for yourself and to live a more authentic life. But how do you let go, right? And what are the things that you need to let go of? One of my least favorite things to hear as an answer to a question is, because that's the way I've always done it, or because that's the way we've always done things. You hear this in organizations, and I know as soon as I hear that in an organization, oof, there's a lot of work here to be done, right? And you see it, you think about like the education system, right? Not to get political, but if you've ever worked in a school, you know that they say that all the time. Well, this is the way we've always done it. Well, that leaves no room for creativity or ingenuity or, growth at all. Let's just keep doing things the way we've done them, even though we know more and we have more information and all of that. And, I want you to think about that in your own life and really think about how much there may be in your life that you're not even aware of because it's just the way you've always done it, right? It's hard to change and to grow and to move into the life that you want and deserve for yourself if you're stuck in habits and routines that aren't serving you anymore, or relationships, right? And that's probably, well, I'm not going to say the hardest, because the hardest is actually changing your mindset around those relationships. Once you change the mindset and get that and have a shift and realize that maybe certain people in your lives are not voting your victory, do not support you in living your truth, then the work of setting the boundaries actually gets a little easier. I mean, you still got to do it. It's still not pleasant, but it ultimately gets you where you want to be, and can be incredibly rewarding. And sorry, I forgot to turn that off. So another way to think about it is that every choice you make in life, for more or less, is either toward or away from health. And the reason I use those words, toward or away from health, is because it's not about good or bad choices, right? You're making the choice. Labeling it as a bad choice is only putting salt in the wound, right? You're making this choice, own this choice, right? The goal is not to make 100% healthy choices, because that's perfectionism and that's an unhealthy choice, right? It's to be aware of and mindful about the choices that you make. Here's my example on this. I love ice cream. Love it, love it, love it, to the point where I make it myself now because the stuff in the stores is way too sugary and not creamy enough. So I make mine with twice the fat and half the sugar, but I digress. Point is, I used to eat the ice cream, and to me, a pint of ice cream is a serving. Like, once I start, I don't stop. I love ice cream, right? Before, what I would do is I'm, digging in, and maybe about halfway through, and I know I'm going to finish it. It's not even a question of I'm going to finish it or not, right? I know it's going down. But about halfway through, I'm full. I don't need it. And then I start shaming myself. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is a bad choice. I'm a bad person. I'm going to get fat and nobody's going to love me. And, just you go down that rabbit hole of shame as you're, shoveling this nice treat into your mouth. So here's the thing. Is eating a pint of ice cream a healthy choice? Clearly not. Is shaming myself for it a healthy choice? Absolutely not. Am I going to deny myself ice cream? No, I'm not going to, because that would be an unhealthy choice too, right? So I'm going to make a calculated choice. I'm going to have that ice cream. I'm going to eat the whole thing. It'll be a meal though. I mean, it's not like I have that and then a meal, but anyway, but I'm going to have it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to savor it. I am going to reward myself with this pleasure that I seek out. And what I'm not going to do is put salt in that wound and put salt in that ice cream, so to speak. I'm not going to shame myself. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, what a bad person I am, or what a bad choice this is. And, I'm going to have to do whatever exercise to make up for it. Right. So now what I've done is quite a number of things, right? I've allowed myself a pleasure, which is a component of happiness. Pleasure is not equal to happiness, but it is a component of happiness. Okay. And it comes with some negative side effects, right? If I do it too much, I'll have a physical cost, right? But by not shaming myself now, when I'm done with the ice cream, I feel satiated. I feel happy. I've enjoyed that pleasure that I was seeking, and I get to revel in that, right? Versus feeling now so bad about myself. Well, screw it. I might as well eat pizza now, right? Because now I'm just going to emotionally eat, because I've just emotionally destroyed myself, right? That I have control over, right? That I can choose. Merit, enjoy the ice cream, and then you're not going to want it all the time, right? Because then I don't have this emotional, slice that I just gave myself to try and cover up too, right? Or salt in the wound, right? So make your choices and own them. I think that's the key here too, in terms of letting things go, right? So what I let go of was the shame, right? So the things you let go of aren't always tangible, right? That's a mindset. I'm letting go of the urge to shame myself, right? And I'm managing that urge. I'm noticing it and I'm letting it go, because it doesn't serve me anymore. And it takes away from the enjoyment of the ice cream anyway. Okay. So what I want you to do is to take an inventory, start taking an inventory of things that you notice that are not serving you. Okay, that's step one. And things that you are doing because it's the way you've always done it, right? And things that you absolutely know are getting in the way of you living the life that you want and deserve to have. Start with that list. Before you let anything go, you've got to name it and understand it. Okay. The letting go is the result of all this work, all this preparation of becoming aware, noting, and then making that decision, because you may also decide that there's things on that list that either you're not ready to let go of, or you just frankly aren't going to. And that's fine. That is for you to decide. This is living a authentic life isn't all about being perfect either, right? It's about authentically making decisions in a with awareness, and with that key that you hold that key, and you get to decide these things for you, and if you decide, I see this a lot where, there's people have toxic relationships with people in their lives, and they're not ever going to do anything about it necessarily. Okay, that's fine. That's your decision. But just make that decision with clarity and with empowerment, right? Because when you're not feeling empowered to make a choice, the choice is making you, right? That shame was controlling me about the ice cream, and it was robbing me of enjoying my ice cream. Okay. I hope that's helpful. If you would like to reach me for any reason, I am at shareitwithmerit.com. You can book an appointment with me. And there's also a free recipe for happiness worksheet that you can download. Take a look at that. Is helpful to get you into the zone of identifying what goes into a happier, more authentic life for you.